The Dodgers had a parade. Everybody had fun. Nobody had quite as much fun as Jack Flaherty had last year, but everybody had fun. And there was a common theme that has to do with next year's parade. Let's talk about it on All Dodgers. Coming at you live from my mom's basement in Pleasant Grove, Utah, and Clint's mom's basement in La Puente, California, and Kevin's mom's kitchen somewhere in Illinois. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Network of podcasts, brought to you by FanDuel. We got some memes, Clint, or no?
I'm working on it. Here it is.
Clint's always good for some meh. This is All Dodgers. The Dodgers had fun today. They got up early after flying home yesterday. They went to Dodger Stadium, got on some buses, drove around downtown LA. The city of LA seemed more prepared. They didn't get stuck in traffic this time like they did last year, which was good.
Yeah, about that.
And then they met back up at Dodger Stadium, had themselves a little party. Dave Roberts hugged Ice Cube, but did not twerk him. So all in all, everything was just a little bit better than last year's parade. And Clint, you and I were watching. There was a theme. I don't know if you noticed the theme. It wasn't brought up by the guys who are currently free agents, like Kike and Rojas. And but everybody who's going to be on the team next year kind of had the same idea, which is, hey, maybe we got to do this again next year. And Clint, I just got to say, I want to get in front of the line. I'm on board.
Yeah, that's bold of you. It's a real bold stance from this team, the guys that are returning. It's a good idea. I love it. I think the idea of practicing these parades, keep getting better and better. It can't hurt.
Yeah. By I don't know, 10 times in a row, they'll have it down like perfected. But we'll start with three. Dave Roberts got permission from Pat Riley to use the term three-peat. One of the benefits of being in LA. Kevin, what was your favorite part of the parade?
The contrast between this year and last year, how there were definitely more people, and it seemed like nobody on the Dodgers was nearly as intoxicated as they were last year. We didn't have people falling out of chairs or Walker Buehler doing whatever wherever he was in that space and time.
Really, last year, I think it was just Buehler and Flaherty that kind of raised the average for everybody.
Bondo was close.
Bondo was close. Snell, I thought, was getting there too, but then he kind of seemed to. I don't know. Maybe he stopped doing tequila shots or what.
I think that's just Blake Snell, man. I think that's how he is. And Kike, we know he was drinking heavy. He was also working, doing his Sporting Tribune thing or whatever that is, Players Tribune. But Kike can handle his booze.
Kike really likes saying F words when he knows that he probably shouldn't. And you can see on his face. Like, my older brother is always making jokes, and I always know when he's about to because he has this look. And Kike has that same look. He's like, I'm about to say an F word, and there's nothing anybody can do about it. And
what are they going to do, fine him?
Yeah. Kike is the Richie Flores of the Dodgers. And you know what? Today maybe Kike was watching All Dodgers the other night when we were quoting Conor McGregor, because today, Kike quoted Conor McGregor saying, I want to sincerely apologize to absolutely no one. Kike threw in an F word where even Conor McGregor didn't use one right there. And then he continued the quote, which was, and he had to change it. The double champ can do whatever he wants or whatever. Kike referred to himself as the triple champ because, of course, Kike is a triple champ. Conor McGregor was just a double champ. I assume that was because Kike watches All Dodgers. So he thought, hey, quoting Conor McGregor is fun. We didn't have anybody doing the Conor McGregor strut, which is probably good because the last guy who did that at Dodger Stadium ended up having some issues.
Yoshinobu Yamamoto is his favorite pitcher.
It's true. I saw that.
Put that out there.
This is something I want to bring up. Anyway, I'm jumping ahead in our super chats, but Dan Weitzman, 999 super chat, says, I was impressed with Shohei's speech in English. And you just know there's idiots who are like, see, Shohei speaks English. Of course it was all a lie. It's like, yeah, there's a difference between practicing a 30-second speech that you know you're going to give and making, calls to your bank. I think you'll probably use an interpreter to make those calls to your bank and to do a lot of those things. Whereas, yeah, he did say 30 words in English and he sounded good, did a good job. Yeah. We see Shohei having conversations with his teammates. He talks baseball English. But it's just one of those things where anybody with fewer than 2 brain cells is going to be jumping back on the conspiracy train.
Yeah, and we've seen it, Jeff. You know very well the whole thing with Yasiel Puig. He felt he got very misrepresent, you know the word.
He got railroaded, is what he did.
Yeah. He got railroaded because he didn't know the language and he was trying his best at times, and things just didn't come out. He wasn't the smartest boy when he came over here in general, let alone learning the language and learning the flow of a new country and all that kind of stuff. So, somebody like Shohei Ohtani, somebody like Yoshinobu Yamamoto, Roki Sasaki, they protect themselves a whole hell of a lot more. And obviously, Sho's been here a lot longer. He knows a lot more conversational English with the boys.
And they both learned from Ichiro, who spent his whole 20-year career using an interpreter. He understood, no matter how good I get at English, I'm going to make sure that I don't get misrepresented.
I messed you up too.
Yeah. Well, also, I Bleav they do most of their stuff in Japanese anyway for interviews and stuff back home. I think they, I forget where I read it, but that's something Shohei prides himself in, is just making sure that, the people in Japan that are watching any of these interviews don't have to, listen to the English translation. They can just hear it from him. So, and I'm sure they all feel the same way.
Hey, how about Denny Cortez bringing up Yamamoto, trilingual, because he opens with Buenos Tardes.
Buenos Tardes, yeah. And then he got to the English and
build the statue.
Yamamoto, he could have said anything and people would have loved it. But for him to come out, know his audience, know that a decent percentage of his audience may habla de Espanol a little bit. He definitely pandering to the crowd, and he didn't need to pander because he just won the Dodgers a World Series. I was thinking about this, guys. Do you realize if Game 3 had gone one more inning, Yamamoto might have been the winning pitcher in all 4 Dodgers wins?
That'd be funny.
I don't.
Obviously, there's probably no way he would pitch Game 7 if he had to pitch in Game 3.
Yeah.
But I want to live in this alternate reality where Yoshinobu Yamamoto has 4 wins. Did you also notice that the Blue Jays were 1-4 in the games that George Springer played? I'm going to pretend that George Springer is the reason that the Blue Jays lost.
That's true.
Because that narrative makes me happy.
I could also buy into that one. I think it's worth buying into that one. George Springer, bad at baseball, bad person. Clip this. Somebody, Toronto, clip this.
Couple other super chats, and then Clint, I'm going to ask you for your highlights of the parade. We got a super chat $1 from Sarah without a comment, but thank you for the $1. We appreciate you. Dan Weitzman sent $1.99 before the one that we put up earlier. Just said, let's go Dodgers. I fully agree. Dan Weitzman, great Dodger fan, lives up in the Sacramento area, kind of among some Giants fans, but from LA originally and loves his Dodgers. And speaking of great Dodger fans, Seth Klein gave us $5 asking a good question. What merch did everyone get so far? I got me a Kirsch with 2 trophies bobblehead.
Nice. That's a good one.
You ordered anything yet, Clint? Okay. I don't care.
I do usually the same thing every time. I don't have one next to me, but I get my 3930 New Era cap. It's the spring training cap because I like the flexibility. Sometimes I cut my hair, sometimes I let it go long, and that lets me have more play in my hat. And I got the one with just the 2025 World Series champs on the side. So please hurry up and get it to me. MLBshop.com, not a sponsor.
Kevin. I will eventually get a hat, probably this exact same one, but just with the new patch. Hopefully they do the back-to-back patch because I really want that.
That is a cool logo.
Yeah, I do like the back-to-back logo. I want a back-to-back shirt, and then I will I'll get somebody's jersey with the World Series patch on it as well. I am undecided with who I will get. It will probably be Yamamoto, but
Ian Happ.
Sure. Yes.
That was the first Cub I could think of.
Big time Cubs fan.
Big
I mean,
Cubs
you
fan,
can get a
Cubs
JT.
fan.
Hey, that's what
jersey.
That's 4-time Gold Glove or consecutive Gold Glove winner. However
I don't know.
He's won.
I know
he's good at defense, but 4 in a row is a lot.
Feels
Yeah,
like a lot.
I am at the mercy of the people who make clothes for big fat people with big fat heads. So I haven't ordered anything yet. I have to order my hats on a special website. And so what I will generally do, I will wait. They'll probably become available on my special fathead website in a few weeks. And then I will put the links on my Christmas wish list and hope that I get a few. I got 3 or 4 Dodger hats last year. I got 2 identical. This one I'm wearing right now and another one just like it. So this one I only wear for podcasting. Keep it safe in the plastic bag when I'm not podcasting. Another one for wearing around town. And then I got a 1988 Dodgers World Series hat for Christmas last year. So hopefully get a hat or 2 for Christmas and then see what big and tall shirts they have available.
Yeah,
Alex
brought
runs
up- yeah, thank you. Go ahead.
No, yeah. Well, no, he brought up he's waiting for the bomber jackets. If they start selling those bomber jackets, those were so sweet.
Which one did you like more, Dave Roberts or who was it, Stan Kasten that had the back-to-back one on it? You like the Kasten one?
I don't know. I like the one the Nike players got. That one looks so clean. I don't know.
Muncie's was spicy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Muncie's was good too. Dang, man, we need some bomber jackets.
Dan Weissman, another 1999 super chat, says he and his son are ordering Will Klein jerseys. Did Clint freeze or without
somebody?
Man,
we're all back.
That one might have been me because you guys both froze up, so maybe that one was my fault. Anyway,
yeah.
Dan's getting Will Klein jerseys for him and his son. My son has become a big Will Klein fan, so I might have to look into that too. Who
wouldn't be the fan of that guy? It's incredible what he did.
All right, so Clint, now I'm asking you.
Yes.
What was your highlight of the parade / stadium party?
I mean, there's a lot of little things. I like the simplicity this year of some of the things that these dudes had to say. Max Muncy's going up there, kind of being a man of few words when we know he can be. He could talk a whole lot. Just saying, like, getting pretty comfortable up here. Like he is having a lot of fun being a champ, and that he is giving that it is important for him to be a 3-time World Series champion. I love Miggy Rowe making sure that everybody awkwardly sang happy birthday, but then didn't awkwardly sing happy birthday to Roki Sasaki. That was a lot of fun. And then Dave not steamrolling Joe Davis this year and taking over and humping Ice Cube. That was a good time as well. There was also a clip your buddy and mine, Vince Samperio, had posted on the social media. I don't know if it was directly from him or from elsewhere, but Miggy Rowe on one of the buses, like shaking the champagne, and he almost lost the bottle, but he made one more save and didn't drop the bottle.
The dude has hands,
He got hands.
Like
we saw it. We saw it in Game 6.
After the end of Game 6, I would trust. I would throw my infant 30 feet towards Miguel Rojas, trusting him to catch it. Which is easy for me to say now that my most recent infant is 6'4", so I don't have to worry about actually having to do that.
PETA, don't listen to this. And the final thing for me is, of course, Kike just being Kike. There had to be somebody, and they didn't give him a tape delay this year like they did last year.
And Muncy dropped an F-bomb too.
Yeah.
So it was
my dog.
There was some spice, Seth Klein, $2 super chat just to say hashtag not my cousin. You ought to say hashtag my cousin. Nobody's going to fact check you, Seth. You can be Will's cousin.
Why not?
Noah Ortega, $1.99. Somebody who knows Spanish. Anybody know Spanish?
You can't Spanish, Mr. English degree.
Oh, I could read it. I just don't know what it means.
Oh, basically saying like where somebody, because Kevin
should he have his hat backwards like us?
I should.
You should wear it backwards or upside down or something like that.
Hey,
I should wear my hat like you guys. I should wear my hat in reverse like you guys.
Well, I mean, we could. You could change it up.
Why
do I have to change?
Noah, send $10 and then Kevin will turn his hat around. There we go.
Leave the man alone. He just wants to give people solar energy. By the way, Noah, we need to talk this off season. Kevin, do you have highlights?
Did we already do highlights? Yeah.
I'm trying to find a picture of Stan Kasten from today because I think I confused Stan Kasten with Mark Walter. So I'm.
Oh wow! All rich white men look the same to you, huh? Racist.
Kike he's always a good time. Always, he's just funny. I liked that it did seem a little bit more player focused this year, which was kind of nice. I liked, Yama's speech, Shohei. I really liked Blake Snell saying anytime you just see a lot more of this. So just flash it to him when he's on the mound. I thought that was pretty funny because that was something that I hadn't noticed about him in previous years, but obviously watching him much more closely this year, I saw that all the time. So it's pretty funny that he pointed it out to the fans. And DJ Mustard on the Beat was really good.
Hey, speaking of Blake Snell and things, did you guys notice that our Saturday night episode after the World Series ended and Clint's solo episode on Sunday, how many minutes long both episodes were?
I don't know.
6, 7.
I hate it. I hate it.
They were both 67 minutes, and we did not do that on purpose.
I hate all the things you kids are into.
Noah sent another $1.99 just to say yes in Spanish, and I appreciate that. I'll tell you my two favorite parts, at least among the things that haven't been mentioned too much yet. Clayton Kershaw, obviously a huge highlight, my favorite player of all time. And back when Kershaw, Clint, you remember, you got the word a couple hours early that Kershaw was going to be announcing his retirement. You texted me, and I spent a couple hours trying to find a tweet of mine from like 10 years ago, and I wasn't able to find it that day, but I found it today. On my 11th wedding anniversary, I tweeted out, my anniversary started on a bad note because I thought about the fact that Clayton Kershaw is going to retire someday. And I realized today that I am not sad. I am just 100% happy for Clayton Kershaw. Like the old cheesy saying, don't cry because it's over, smile because it happened. It's exactly how I feel about Clayton Kershaw's career. And the fact that I guess maybe if Yamamoto had struck out, what's his name? Alejandro Kirk. So there was only 2 outs and they had brought Kershaw in and he had gotten, what's his name? Dalton Varsho out to end the series. I guess that would have been better, but that also brings up the very likely or very real possibility, not likely, but a real possibility that Kershaw could have ended his career by blowing a save in Game 7 of the World Series. And so, the fact that he was warming up was enough for me. Seems to be enough for him. I love the fact that he didn't know that the game was over, that Josh Bard had to tell him, stop throwing warm-up pitches. We just won the World Series and your career is over. You're not warming up for anything ever again. I love that. So that was obviously everything about Kershaw today was a highlight for me. And then I just love the little thing that, I don't know if you guys noticed, it was mostly the younger guys and the lesser contributors standing in the middle, right, on camera the whole time. And I feel like that was kind of a conscious thing by the veterans of, let's let Dalton Rushing get a feel for this. Go be on camera for this big celebration and get a feel for it, And the other guys were just happy to be off in the wings, knowing they're going to get all their love, but let the younger guys and the lesser guys kind of get the spotlight for a little bit. I thought that was cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was a really nice ceremony for them. Everything that Kirsch said was, it was touching and they kept panning over to the numbers, 20 and 24 that are retired. And it's like, Kirk, hey, we get it. Kershaw's will eventually be there as well. And for him to go out the way he did, he got the only out that mattered for him in that World Series. He got the one out they really needed. I mean, they needed it.
He contributed.
He got it. Yeah. In a huge way. And, more than some of the other bullpen guys did, because I know everybody kind of had a role, but, he was thrown into like the highest leverage situation up to that point. Because if he doesn't get that run, I'm pretty sure the Blue Jays take the lead and they lose.
Yeah.
So
it was a full count, bases loaded, and
like there wasn't. He had to execute one.
Set up that slider. He got Lucas to chase the slider, and it was a beautiful thing.
And then the other thing, the last thing, the people kept mentioning the story about Kike after he collided with Andy Pajes, and he's just like on the ground, and he's just like very sad, and he's like, "What are you doing?" He's like, "Do you have the ball?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "Oh, okay, let's go."
Let's go.
That's just so classic Kike, and I love that.
The thing I also appreciate, again, selfishly about the Kershaw I guess, ending of his career is that I was at his final game in that 18-inning game. I got to see him come out. I got to hear, fun or
Weird.
whatever it
Yeah.
is. I got to hear the song
Man,
one more time.
onions were chopped when that was playing today.
It was tough. It was tough. And the tensity, even in the press box. I mean, obviously our auxiliary press box, you have more people like us who are fans first and media third. The anxiety, how tense we were. Because I was there with Steve Mason and my buddy Parker from ESPN LA, and I had to go over to them just to be like, oh my God, like he made it out. We lived. We survived. We walked so Kershaw could run or something like that. But it's cool. I got to see it. I was very sad that I didn't get a chance to get to, and I've already said this, but that I didn't get a chance to get to his final Dodger Stadium start. But I was at his final ever Major League appearance until, I mean, it won't be a Major League appearance, but until he comes back for an alumni game in like 2 or 3 seasons.
Yeah. I didn't get to go to any of his big moments this year, but I was at his first career postseason start. I was at the game when he hit his only career home run. I think I probably have been there in person for 30 Clayton Kershaw starts, which is a lot for a guy who lives 661 miles from Dodger Stadium, And so it's been a great run, beautiful thing. We got some more super chats to get to, but first I want to talk about our friends over at FanDuel a little bit. As I've mentioned, no more wagering on the World Series. It's over. Next year's World Series, Dodgers are currently plus 350 to win that. That's the only MLB stuff you can currently wager on. It's kind of interesting that they don't still have odds on MVP and stuff, which, by the way, Shohei Ohtani, shockingly, one of the 3 finalists for National League MVP this year. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is a finalist for Cy Young Award. Ohtani will finish first. Yamamoto will finish second. Dave Roberts, not a finalist for Manager of the Year. He continues to only have 1 Manager of the Year award, despite being the best manager in baseball for the last decade.
He beat all of the finalists for Manager of the Year on those way to the World Series.
And he will take his rings. But what you can do over on FanDuel, college basketball started today, including my BYU Cougars. I don't know if you guys know this, but BYU assistant basketball coach Chris Burgess, former Duke basketball star, later played at University of Utah, now a coach at BYU, also a diehard Dodger fan. Southern California boy, loves his Dodgers. He is always wearing Dodgers gear despite being a basketball guy. The dude loves his Dodgers. I love my BYU Cougars. I don't care about college basketball, but I did watch the first half of their game. They did beat Villanova, but it got dicey, and I was watching the FanDuel odds during the game, and at one point, Villanova actually came back and took the lead midway through the second half, and BYU was still minus 230 to win. And they did end up winning by 5 points. And so, but you can follow those things. You can make live bets right during the game if that's what you're interested in doing. And if you like the irony of betting on a BYU basketball game, a school sponsored by a church that does not believe in gambling, you know what? The irony is always fun too. Let's jump back into these super chats a little bit. We got Nick Ramos 499 says, so awesome hearing Yoshi speak. He loves this city and we love him. Yoshinobu Yamamoto, obviously, we were all excited when the Dodgers signed him. The press conference announcing it was big, not as big as the one announcing Ohtani a couple weeks earlier, but people have been excited about Yamamoto. I think Yamamoto has cemented himself as a Dodger legend, the kind of guy who, we're talking, obviously needs to do it for a few more years, but kind of on the trajectory of a Fernando Mania, kind of love among Dodger fans. And I think it's pretty cool to see.
Listen, when you're 2 for 2 in World Series championships to MLB seasons, I don't care. That's already cemented as a legend. And I was arguing, with myself alone to the chat yesterday that I have no problem if they give him a good, good stretch to rest to open the season after everything he did to put the team on his back. He's not important in the month of March or April. I wonder how he's going to handle the WBC, because obviously there's a lot of pride for Japan.
I hope he handles it by inviting his friends to pitch in it instead of him.
Yes, this would be very ideal. But I would. They could say we're going to build a statue this off season, and I wouldn't be like, that's a little soon. Like what he did was a statue-worthy performance.
A statue of Will Smith hugging him from behind and lifting him up off the ground. Like, put 9 statues up of the iconic moments for. I don't know how you do 2020 at this point. Figure something out for 2020 statue. But the rest of them, find it out.
It's JT with the mask awkwardly down at his chin.
JT coughing on people. JT licking people's phones like Rudy Gobert.
Oh God. What a guy.
I think.
Go ahead, Kev.
With Yamamoto, as awesome as Shohei is, and no one is going to deny that he's the greatest player ever. Yamamoto's only so far played for one team, so he's really only ever endeared himself in this way to the Dodgers fan base, where Shohei did play for the Angels, or he suffered with the Angels for so long. And to Yamamoto's credit, he's on this like crazy run right now, where since leaving NPB, he won the WBC and then won back-to-back World Series champ. Like, the dude just doesn't know how to lose right now. It's a heater. It's an all-time heater.
Yeah, and at least he's earned that. Like, and not that, but like you think about Justin Dean, who has more World Series titles than Major League hits.
That's so cruel.
Which reminds me of Terrence Gore. Terrence Gore won a World Series title in 2015 and got his first Major League hit in 2018. So I remember when Gore got his first hit off of Max Scherzer, and I thought it was a joke on Twitter. Congratulations to Terrence Gore on his first Major League hit. I'm like, this guy's been in the big leagues for 4 years. What are you talking about? And no, it was his first career hit. And all these guys like Ben Kasparius, he's played 2 seasons. Like Ben Kasparius is eligible for Rookie of the Year right now. He's not a finalist. He's not going to win it. He's still a rookie, and he has 2 World Series titles. Like Edgardo Enriquez, 2 World Series titles despite being a rookie. There's some people getting spoiled, and you kind of feel like, that's how Derek Jeter came up, and he talks about that. Just kind of, you just expect, we're just going to win the World Series every year, and maybe go and lose the World Series once in a while, but mostly we're just going to win the World Series every year, and that's the fun thing about a dynasty, is these young guys who get to come up and jump into it midway through and just say, wow, this is kind of fun thing I walked into. Brought the pencil to the group project, as Kike said.
Yeah, I think we got a super chat for that as well. Last year, it was Ben Kasparius. Who were the other rookies on last year's roster? I can't remember it off the top of my head. Enriquez playing a part in it. This year,
Landon
Jack
Knack
Dreyer
was on it, right?
Landon Knack. Jack Dreyer, not enough talked about for just a absolutely solid season front to back. Justin Wrobleski, of course, he was up last year. Ultimately played a massive role in this World Series, unsung hero there, but him getting a ring, technically being a 2-time ring holder here. And that's one of the things I always love that Clayton Kershaw probably was the most vocal about. Like, guys, you've been here so many times. Why do you celebrate winning the division? Why do you celebrate advancing in the wild card? It's like, it's not necessarily for us. It's for all the other guys who are here experiencing this for the first time. It's important for them, whether it's Miggy Rowe coming back a couple years ago, Yeah,
and then on the other end, Kershaw, he said, you don't get to do this kind of thing in normal life. And so, I'm going to live this up. Raul Robles, $1.99 super chat says, need to put 22 up now and not wait till he's in the Hall of Fame.
I wouldn't hate it.
Yeah, I wouldn't hate either. We talked about this a little bit the day that he announced his retirement. Should they just retire it tomorrow, And Clint's argument was, no, let's give him an excuse to come back to the stadium, And so I think they need to do the number retirement and the statue unveiling at different times, but I think you don't wait till he's in the Hall of Fame, because you can have him back for Hall of Fame recognition when he does that, So do the jersey. So he'll be back to get his World Series ring next year, opening day. And then maybe June 18th, the anniversary of his no-hitter, have him back for retire the number day. And then next year on, it could just become a June 18th thing, or you could do, I don't know if any of his kids have been born during this. I don't know. Do it on Kobe Bryant's birthday, whatever, but find an excuse every year to bring Kershaw back, unveil the statue, celebrate the Hall of Fame, all those things. But yeah, I would be surprised if they actually wait. Now that they've kind of broken the ice with Fernando and everybody knows that Kershaw's going in the Hall of Fame, I don't see any reason to wait 5 years to officially retire the number. But nobody's wearing the number ever again anyway.
Yeah. Do we want to you could space it out. You could also just do like a big weekend do the number one day or do the statue one day, the number the next.
No. We want him every year. We want Kershaw back all the time.
He'll be back. He's not going anywhere. He's just going.
I hope he's open to like popping in here and there and doing like guest analyst stuff with Joe and Oral.
He said he doesn't want to coach, so that
definitely something that's not gonna keep him in a clubhouse and traveling with the team or whatever. But he is so good, like with a mic in front of his face. He is incredible, and the friendship that him and Joe and Oral have, or even filling in. Maybe he becomes at some point, backup to the assistant to the regional color analyst when Bulldog and EK and D Train are out or something like that. But he needs to be back for all of us.
Yeah. $5 super chat from DJ PYBK. I don't know how that is pronounced. This is the one you were talking about, Clint. Kike in the World Series brought a pen into a group project, got an A. Kike in the parade brought a laptop projector, PowerPoint, and presented, and then got an A. Absolutely. Keektober maybe manifested itself more on the microphone this year than at the plate.
And defensively, he was
defense for sure,
solidly, very solid defensively. I mean,
other than the one time Andy Paul has had to save him and murder him.
I know people think Kike wouldn't have come down with it. I think there's a better than
he would have
chance
got
he
it.
would have.
I think he probably would have, but like I said the other night, I definitely felt more comfortable with the guy whose back wasn't to the play. Yeah. Speaking of that play, I was picking up my son from work tonight, and so I turned on my car stereo to MLB Network Radio, and it was loud outs, and it was Kevin Franzen and Chris Jimenez, and one of them, I don't know their voices apart, so I don't know. One of them was talking about the play by Andy Pages.
Oh.
I assume it was Chris Jimenez, who has proven by the pronunciation of his own last name that he is not overly familiar with the pronunciation of Hispanic last names. But Andy Pages. And then his partner actually made a point of saying Pages in the next sentence. And the guy then again said Pages. So, it could have been Franson, because Franson was the one who the other day was talking about Tariq Skubal. And, I don't know. Anyway, but they made the argument that Dave Roberts should have been named World Series MVP. And I think Dave Roberts did an excellent job. And I think that's taking it way too far because the players play.
The players play.
Play.
$5 more from Seth Klein. Says, my favorite Dodgers pitchers, Kershaw, Koufax, Yamamoto.
Ooh.
It's a pretty good top three.
Yamamoto has a chance to do some really crazy stuff in Dodger blue. So, keep the train rolling. But when his career is all said and done, there could be some wild stats about him, that are up there with the Kershaws and the Koufaxes of the world.
Yeah, and Kershaw's my favorite player of all time. Koufax, I have a son literally named after him. I probably won't name a son after Yamamoto between me not having any more kids and probably. I think going with the Jewish last name with Koufax, people already thought that was weird for a Mormon to name a kid after a famously Jewish person. I'm probably not going to cross ethnic barriers and go with, hey, this is my son, Philip Yamamoto Snider.
Coward.
Dexter Yamamoto. Yeah. I guess if Kevin can be named Kevin, despite being half Japanese,
and half Irish.
And I got, kind of.
$9.99
from Richie Flores. The Fox broadcast was unwatchable. I can't stand Joe Davis on national calls. Smoltz won't shut up. Studio guys are morons. In-game interviews annoying as heck. And endless Fox promos. So I got all the Fox commercials, which seemed to be designed to make me never want to turn on Fox ever again. That Murder in a Small Town looks like a good mindless show that I might binge at some point. All those reality shows, it's like, hey, here's a B-list celebrity doing something stupid. And then our next show, here's other B-list celebrities doing something stupid. And here's Rob Lowe calling regular ordinary citizens stupid. But the actual broadcast, I didn't listen to much. I've heard some Joe on highlights and stuff, watching recaps, but I firmly was entirely watching or listening to the LA Dodgers radio broadcast.
Which is
not. I love Joe Davis. I believe Joe Davis is the best play-by-play guy in the business, and that's why he has the job he has. I am a big Joe Davis fan. I hate national broadcasts of Dodger games because when I'm watching a Dodger game, I want a pro Dodgers broadcast. And so that's why I listen to the radio broadcast, not because I dislike Joe Davis. I do dislike John Smoltz a lot. But it was, I don't like national broadcasts even when they are Joe Davis. And I think most fans are that way because you spend the whole season listening to a broadcast that is pro your team. And so then when you do get a neutral broadcast, it feels like it's anti your team. And if you're a fan of the other team and you get a neutral broadcast where the broadcaster happens to be the broadcaster for the team you're playing, you think it's pro that other team. But the fact that everybody thinks that the national broadcasts are against their team kind of tells you they're doing their job. It's just less pro your team than you're used to. But yeah.
I'd say I don't necessarily have any major issues with the national broadcast. I mean, Fox is fine. ESPN is much worse, at least when it comes to the actual play, game callers. But the on-field interviews this year were egregiously
You've
bad.
got 2.5-minute commercial breaks. Do your interviews then, and play them.
But
when
they got to
come
tell you
back.
about murder in a small town.
Like when John Snider actually had to. Obviously, I wasn't listening to it because I was listening to the radio broadcast.
When he had to do his job,
he had to tell them, "Hey, shut up for a minute. I need to see if I need to challenge this right now." Yeah. Like he's playing baseball. Like spring training, fine. A regular season game where somebody is getting All-Star game for sure. That's fine. Game, Regular season game where a player is getting a $10,000 paycheck and they choose to be mic'd up during an inning. Okay. I don't love it, but I don't mind it. A manager during a World Series game, it's the worst idea ever. It's terrible. And I don't know whose idea it was. I hope that person has been fired by now and has been blacklisted from every other job. And dies penniless and alone tomorrow.
Tell us how you really feel.
So on the national broadcast,
okay, tonight.
I don't care. It's just weird when it's Joe Davis and he has to it feels like he's personally nerfing himself or his knowledge because he knows so much about the team and the guys in the clubhouse and he just kind of can't say anything that he normally would. So it's just really hard to listen to. I like his calls. His calls are great, but then, when you get the at-bats and certain tendencies, it's like, okay, well, Joe can't go into those necessarily because then it's too pro Dodgers, which is unfortunate. And I always prefer the radio broadcast, but also during big games like, the entire World Series, I just watch it on mute because I can't handle it.
Yeah, that's your problem. You can't. You
can't the whole thing. It's dead silence around me.
The last thing I'll say about the in-game interviews, it's kind of maybe read the room sort of situation, like for Snider to tell Ken to shut up and then Ken to continue his interview. It's like, no, you guys are done here. There's baseball happening in the moment.
That's when you say, hey John, thanks for trying. I'll let you get back to your job now. Like Emmett Sheehan today during the parade. Hey, let me get back to this.
It's really fun. I texted you guys this somebody during the post game, I think after game 6, or maybe it was after the World Series. I don't remember which, because Yamamoto was incredible both times. They were asking Dave about Yamamoto and his delivery and what could he do better, or not better, but what does he do that allows him to do this? And Dave's like, it's just a flawless delivery. And he's like, yeah, but what specifically? He's like, I'm not getting into that. And then after he says it, you can hear this beeping noise. It's like, all right, dude, you're done. You're getting played off.
That was a little rough. I think that was entering the game on game 7. I think it was pre-game.
I think it was after game 7. I think
it was a post game.
Yeah,
it was a post game. I'm not
after
sure
the series was over. But yeah, it was rough. And the
sorry,
what are you laughing at?
I just saw a chat from Ray Soto earlier. It says, "Buddy Kennedy has a ring before Manny Machado," and I had a laugh at that.
Hey, maybe Buddy Kennedy will give his contract to that one Dodger fan.
Moshe deserves. He gets 3 contracts now.
Yeah, our buddy Steve,
$900 million.
$5 super chat. I'm still recovering from that wild and emotional roller coaster ride. Love seeing Kershaw get to walk away like that. Yeah, it was a beautiful thing. That whole series, like we talked about the other night, best series ever, probably. And definitely the best I remember. You look at what, tied for the longest game in World Series history, 2 extra inning games, including a game 7 extra inning game, game 6 ending in historic fashion, game 3, Ohtani becoming the first player ever to get on base 7 times in a World Series game, and then getting on base 2 more times after that. Freddie Freeman becoming the first guy ever with 2 walk-off homers in the World Series. Just the whole thing. And the back and forth, everything about the historic, the Ernie Clement and Vlad Guerrero chasing history, chasing each other. And even them, like Addison Barger being every bit as good as them, and George Springer being every bit as good as them, and George Springer losing 4 of the 5 games he played in. Maybe that only made it better for me. I don't know. Max Scherzer losing both games that he started. Maybe that only worked for me,
No, I like that. That
it was a beautiful World Series. Very, very happy. I got to sneeze. I'm going to put this super chat up and then you read it, okay, Clint?
Okay, I know how to read. I do the best reading. Keith asking, $5 super chat. I could push the gong for that. Whose call was better, Steven Nelson or Joe Davis? From backs against the wall to back. And that was being better to beat the champ. You got to knock him out. Yeah, Nelly's was far and away better because, as we learned, shout out, who was it? Kenny Chung, I believe. Pat Dwyer pointed out that's not the first time Joe Davis has used that call.
Yeah, was it 15?
2018. Matt Kemp, the walk-off double off of Archie Bradley. Second straight Matt Kemp walk-off. The reason that did mean a lot to me, as I mentioned on Twitter, is when Pat told us about that game and him using it, and I watched it, I remembered my cousin who died a few weeks ago was at that game and texted me a picture. He was sitting out in the left field pavilion, so the walk-off double happened right in front of him, sent me a picture of him and his daughter celebrating after the game. So I like to think that Joe Davis was just paying tribute to my cousin, so I appreciate that. Nelly's call was great. I think they were both good. I think Joe's line is good, even if he has used it before. It was good. It's true, but yeah, I think Nelly's was a little bit better. $2 more from Steve. The series so great they played enough for 8. I mentioned the other day that the series, the 7 games had an average of 10.6 innings per game. That's how crazy that series was.
If we could stop doing 18-inning World Series games, that would be very preferable.
And if you want evidence of how much the pitch clock has impacted the game, this year's 18-inning game lasted 41 minutes less than 2018's 18-inning game. So we didn't have a 7-hour and 20-minute game. We had a 6-hour and 40-minute game instead. So, you know what? Small. I don't know what phrase I'm looking for. There's some cliche I'm looking for that I don't know what to say. I didn't major in cliches.
I don't deal in cliches. Yeah.
I'm seeing people bad mouthing Nelly in the chat. Oh, you guys are aiming for a slamming from Jeff Snider. So maybe we should move on and not address it.
Did I mention that Steven Nelson made indirect reference to my clutch and pillow at the end of Game 5?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty awesome. It's Devin who says that Nelly's insufferable, and Devin and I sometimes don't agree on things I've noticed. So
yeah, that's fine.
This can just be another one of those things. So we mentioned the common theme of, hey, let's do this again next year. Three-Peat. Freddie Freeman said 2024 done, 2025 done, 2026 starts now. Kershaw said he will be watching the Dodgers three-peat with the rest of us fans next year. Dave Roberts said, let's do a three-peat. Stan Kasten said it. Mark Walter said it. It was a common theme. And so I thought we could touch a little bit, not too much, but what does that look like? Because you can't just run back the same roster. Last year, the Dodgers went into last year's World Series with like 2.5 starting pitchers. And then 1.5 of those guys weren't on the team again this year. Yamamoto was their only postseason starter from last year who was still on the team this year. This year, they got Glasnow healthy. They added Blake Snell. and they got Ohtani back as a pitcher. But you can't just run it back. And we know right now Kike and Rojas are free agents. Kopech and Kirby Yates are free agents. I think it's safe to say Kirby Yates is not going to be back. Kirby Yates hinted in his post-game interview that he might not be back anywhere. He said it's the first time in his career that he ended a season not sure that there would be a next season. So he might be done. Kopech, not out of the realm of possibility that he'll be back, but it would have to be if he chooses to take a 1 year make good deal, trying to come back from his rough year this year. Position player side, and then we know Conforto's not coming back. He's a free agent and he's bad at baseball. All of a sudden, he's probably going to be good again next year, but it won't be for the Dodgers, and he still won't be good defensively. And you've got Teoscar Hernandez, you've got Andy Pajes, both coming back or available. But they've got some things to work on if they want to win this again next year, don't they, Clint?
Yeah, I was talking about it a little bit to end Dodgers territory. You need some outfield. You absolutely need some outfield help. They have a lot of outfield in the minor league ranks. Dudes in the top 30 of their farm system, dudes in the top 100 of the MLB pipeline, but they're not ready. They are, I wouldn't say far from ready, but they're not ready to help this year, maybe even next. So I guess you could argue they're far from ready to go. The outfield was absolutely an issue for this team in this postseason, and for the majority of the season because of Conforto. So you need to improve in left field, or you need a real center fielder, and to convince Teoscar to move over to left field, which maybe that's even worse than right field, but at least you can get a good right fielder and a good center fielder. I don't know if they need to go beyond that, though.
They need bullpen help in some way. We don't know. Again, they're not going to spend a bunch of money on a bullpen arm. Maybe if Devin Williams is cheap because he had a pretty awful season up until like the very end, if that could be an option, somebody like that. But there's going to need bullpen help. They will get Evan Phillips back at some point. Unclear when or what he looks like when he gets back, because who knows. But they clearly need help in the bullpen. Like, you'll get Bruce Starr back, awesome. But even beyond that, they need some stabilizing, arms back there. Because Treinen will still be under contract. But again, what is that going to look like? There's too many question marks for a 162 game series or a season right now to roll back with that bullpen. And I don't. Yes. Outfield is maybe the cleanest answer, but I think there are upgrades they need to make in general, kind of a little around the diamond and definitely on the margins, without getting into too much. Yes, an outfielder would help. Another right-handed bat could go a long way as well. And I wouldn't hate if Tommy Edman got pretty much platooned and made is mostly a super utility guy. So that would also require them maybe getting an infielder as well. So I think that's where Tommy Edman will be best, giving him as many days off so he's not as injured as often, keeping him off his feet so he's not an everyday center fielder. But that's kind of where I'm at, not to give away some of the top guys I have heading into free agency.
Yeah, there's going to be so much to talk about this offseason because every big free agent will be linked to the Dodgers, either because the Dodgers are actually interested or because the player's agent knows that it is to their benefit for people to think the Dodgers are interested. That's how free agency works. Edwin Diaz and Robert Suarez both opted out of their contracts today. Big name relievers who could be available. They will both be linked to the Dodgers. Absolutely. Whether that interest is real on the Dodgers' part after getting burned pretty badly this year, after signing two big name free agent relief pitchers. But also I expect Tanner Scott to be better next year.
It literally can't be worse.
It feels like we're back to the ifs, if all of these guys come back and are healthy at some point towards the end of the season. Yeah, you need to fill out, the roster, the bullpen for the first 3 or 4 months, which those are important months. But if Tanner Scott is good. We don't know how long Brock Stewart's going to be out. Probably won't maybe be ready for opening day. It would be a really big swing in the right direction is if Bobby Miller can actually become Bobby Bullpens. Not that I'm buying in on it, but if he could figure something out in the offseason, just focus on the 2 best pitches and stay there.
Clinton talking about ifs and then throwing out the biggest if in the history of Major League Baseball.
I love that he was the first name on that Nike crawl, man. That is beautiful.
Don't care 187 $2 super chat says keep ruining baseball. Sign Kyle Tucker and some bullpen arms. Tucker's going to be one we're going to talk about a lot. A lot of it comes down to like the dude can hit. He's been a good defensive outfielder in the past, not so much this year, and so that is part of my concern. Obviously, how many years he's going to want is part of the concern. But we will do. I suspect Kyle Tucker may be one of the most commonly said names on the All Dodgers podcast this offseason because he will absolutely be linked to the Dodgers for sure.
We should keep a running tally somehow.
We can get a counter going.
Show, like, be too much to pay attention to.
And for me, the biggest, hardest decisions are going to be Kike Hernandez and Miguel Rojas, guys who have helped them win back-to-back World Series, but are also old and varying degrees of goodness. Like Miguel Rojas is only playing one more year.
Yeah.
It would be silly for it not to be with the Dodgers, but it also might be silly for it to be with the Dodgers, Like that's I wouldn't be surprised if there are front office conversations going on, if not right now, sometime soon about, hey, why don't we see if we can get Miggy on the coaching staff and convince him that, going out, being a World Series hero is a great way to end your career. And let's keep you in Dodger blue, because especially if, like Kevin said, if Tommy Edman is your utility guy, like you don't have room for Rojas and Kike and Edman all being utility guys, right?
No. You
not for 162.
Yeah.
I'm going to upset a lot of people this offseason with my thoughts. I'm just like, prepare yourselves because I have to run it
Mookie
back
to the bullpen.
To run it back, they're gonna need to improve. And the one stat that kind of stands out is in this World Series run in the last 2, they hit 204 as a team in both postseasons combined. You're asking a lot of the pitching staff to do it again. So might need to upgrade the lineup a bit.
Yeah, although some of that, I mean, you've got the hitters to hit better, like Freddie Freeman didn't do much this year. Last year, Freeman did great. Mookie did great. And it was other guys who didn't hit. This year is other guys who hit a little bit better than Freddie and Mookie.
Freddie is also getting older and having a little more trouble catching up to fastballs at times.
Yeah. He's got, 2 more years left on his contract?
Yep. Is it 2?
Yep.
So, yeah, it'll be interesting to see. So much to talk about this offseason. We do know the Dodgers are set on a three-peat. And the front office understands that work starts now. And they have to start working out. And we saw last year, they made the hard decisions. Jack Flaherty sat at the parade and drunkenly begged the Dodgers to re-sign him. And they said, no, thank you, Jack. Thank you for your service. Walker Buehler didn't beg, equally drunk, less begging. But Walker Buehler wanted to stay with the Dodgers. And the Dodgers said, well, here's what we'll offer you, but if you can get something better, go get it. And Walker Buehler, Dodgers legend, basically, and they let him walk. And that's kind of, they are willing to make the hard decisions. This year it was DFA and Chris Taylor and Austin Barnes early in the season.
It's 3-time World Series champion Austin Barnes.
Yeah, and Chris Taylor.
And Chris Taylor, that's true. Yeah.
Yeah, but they made those hard decisions this year. Muncy has an opt-out, like you said. They're going to exercise not an opt-out, an option. Dodgers are going to exercise that option because it's very low dollars, and Muncy is the heart and soul of this team. But There's hard decisions to be made, and I think they've shown that they are willing to make those.
The biggest name we could say is Justin Turner. The fact that they let him walk, he was fully set, expecting that he was going to come back. And then you pile on this year with the Barnes and the CT3. They're willing to do what they can to get better. This team got tired of those 2022, 2023 post-mortem press conferences. They don't want to do those anymore.
Yeah. Even just look at the fact that they said, hey, Clayton Kershaw, thank you for your great regular season. You are now not on one of the rosters, and then you're in the bullpen the rest of the time.
Bullpen guy.
And you're hardly going to pitch. And he was okay with that. And I love that about this team. Everybody buys in. They're going to be focused on that. Seth Klein, $2 super chat, says, I'm with Kevin. We need contact hitters. That is definitely one of the arguments in favor of Kyle Tucker. The dude can hit, including he doesn't strike out. And so, there's going to be a lot of arguments in favor of that. I've seen some people in the chat saying it's time to trade Teo for his last 2 years of his contract. That might be one of the hard decisions they consider. It's hard to see it happening.
I don't know who takes that, though.
Hey, Boston was in on him. Maybe we find some sort of deal for Jarren Duran finally, even though the whole point of trading Jarren Duran is that they don't need more outfielders.
But yeah, you can
It'd be a fun offseason, boys.
Yeah, absolutely.
Trade him to the Yankees. They don't know, but they have outfield problems too. So I don't know.
Well, I mean, Cody Bellinger opted out, who also, unironically, makes a lot of sense for this team. Currently.
Depending on how many years he wants.
Yeah.
Somebody mentioned earlier, what do the Dodgers do with potentially 2026 being the last season baseball ever happens? Likely guys will opt for longer contracts because there's more security in that. And they're going to want them earlier as opposed to later, because the lockout, I don't believe, can actually change the structure of anybody's contract. So if you sign something long term, you're beholden to that. Whereas if you do the Boris special, which is a bunch of opt-outs after every single year, depending on what happens to the CBA, you would then enter free agency again under those new terms, which I know a lot of people have been talking about salary caps and floors and whatnot. I don't know, obviously, what's going to happen, but there could be drastic changes made to contracts moving forward, but not contracts signed right now.
Here's my hot take on the lockout. There ain't going to be a lockout.
These
owners want a salary cap, but they didn't get as rich as they are by being absolute freaking morons. And this World Series just showed them that everybody gets richer when there's a team like the Dodgers.
Yeah, it would be so dumb. The baseball has so much momentum right now.
I have a hard time imagining there won't be a lockout, just because there's so many dumb people at the top making these calls, making these decisions.
Yeah, not going to be a lockout. That's my call right now. Yang Yi says Dodgers need a center fielder, move Pages to right, Teo to left. I don't hate the idea of a center fielder, but also Andy Pages has turned himself into a good center fielder. I know he's better in right field, but that was only really an issue when the Dodgers right and left fielders both sucked this year.
Yeah. And
that's why it's why do we have our best corner outfielder playing center field when we have two guys who can't play corner outfield playing corner outfield? But if they had at least one of those corners manned by somebody who can play defense, I think Pages in center, obviously his arm in center is awesome. You like your strong arm in right field, but if you can get a different right fielder with a strong arm and keep Pages in center, I don't hate the idea. But that's all the things you're going to have to look at, because you've got a lot of different options in the outfield, different directions they could go. I didn't miss any super chats, did I?
I don't think so, but you did mispronounce it. It's Pages.
I'm sorry, Andy Pages. Sorry. My bad. My wife.
If the Dodgers go into 2026 with Andy Pages as the everyday center fielder, totally fine with that. If you told me that a year ago, I'd say you're crazy, but he actually played a very good center field this year. And again, his calling card is his bat. I do not think what we saw in this postseason will be the Andy Pages we see going forward. at the plate.
One problem with that, and obviously we could have more dedicated shows in the offseason about outfield and each positions and players and all that kind of stuff. But like Pajes's numbers were super inflated by an extremely hot June. Everything else was pretty middling. The on base was 300 at best case. Like if you could find a way to improve it, if you want to go back to back to back, you got to find a way to improve everything you can. Not saying I hate Andy Pajes, but if he's somebody who's going to be hitting 8 for the team, okay, but you better have some really, really good options elsewhere.
Yeah. JRM asked, are we going to go through another season of Luis Robert Jr. talks? As long as Clint Pasillas has 2 podcasts, we absolutely are. That dude loves Lou Bob.
No. I'm putting it here now. You know what? I'm pulling this off. And by the way, Kevin, we are way off on our preseason predictions. I had 109 wins. Kevin had 112. So we were off.
They did end up at 106 if you count the postseason.
Better than you. Okay, so no Lou. Hold on, wait. Lou Bob. All right, there it is. There it is. No Lou Bob content.
No Lou Bob.
Yeah.
It's like a bad pizza place around here. No Lou Bob.
I'm just trying to figure out how to kill another 5.5 minutes so we can get it to 6, 7 again. But
no, I'm tired. We're both sick.
Yeah.
Cody Bellinger's going to be a Dodger again.
I don't hate that. You know, is it even 135 since Bellinger left?
Yeah, he worth. Oh, has somebody?
Gavin Stone currently owns number 35.
Gavin Stone has it. Yeah,
oh, that's right. Lance Lynn wore it too. Dodger legend Lance Lynn.
I think it's Noah who keeps putting it. I always wanted to bring it up, but Noah has brought up the fact that Lance Lynn, we owe Lance Lynn a debt of gratitude because he was so bad that it forced the Dodgers to go out and sign up everybody. So thank you, Lance Lynn. I got a button for that.
Yeah, took a couple years to kick in, but you know.
And he can't. Cody couldn't even wear 24. So what number would he wear? That's why you can't sign him.
Yeah, I suspect that he could get 35 back. Gavin Stone would.
Yeah, he's got money.
Yeah.
He's got a couple of bucks. Richie wants to know if Jeff's going to ignore him in the offseason as much as he does in the regular season.
Absolutely.
Is Richie here? Oh, that's cool. Hey, I read all the super chats, Richie. So I already read one of yours today. So, but yeah, I ignore everybody in the chat. If that makes you feel better. When I'm running the show, I have a hard time reading the chat and knowing what to talk about at the same time.
Because he listens. As opposed to me, where I say things, I let them talk, and then I just find chats to keep the conversation moving forward. So, it's 6, 7. That was dumb.
It really was, yeah. I think that'll do it for us for today.
Well, hold on. Juan has a good question. Juan with a 199 super chat. Does the aging group scare us? They're getting older. Yes, but we don't need to admit it.
Yeah, well, it depends, like
experienced.
Yeah. Some guys are getting older and moving on. I think Freddie Freeman's next 2 years. Freddie Freeman was very good this year, but it was also a down year by Freddie Freeman standards. But if he can do 2 more years of still being good compared to the rest of baseball and just worse compared to old school Freddie Freeman, we can deal with that. The big concern, I think, would be giving them the proper time off. I think Freddie is going to need time off, which maybe that's used as a way to get Dalton Rushing more at bats. Who knows? But like Shohei isn't old yet. He will be by the time his contract's up. But Shohei is about to win his 2nd straight MVP, his 4th in 5 years. Mookie, age probably had something to do with his struggles this year, but I think it had more to do with the sickness early and then mechanics getting out of whack. So I'm very interested to see what Mookie can do next year. Beyond that, like the other guys who are aging, it's like, yeah, they're aging, but they're not locked in forever. And so, you look at the outfield, we've got good prospects coming up. They're just a couple years away. And every team has these aging cycles where you get older and then you get younger. And I think that's how it'll be with the Dodgers. The pitching staff, I think, is kind of by design. They have guys who are going to miss some time. But like we saw this year, if you can get 4 of them healthy at once in October, you're in real good shape. If you can get 3 of them, you're in decent shape. And so that's going to be the plan there. But yeah, I'm not overly concerned about the age. I think the age was overblown a little bit this year. I think it did come into play maybe after the 18 inning game. The fact that that was the day after a day off instead of the day before a day off. I think they would have been in much better shape if they had a day off after that game. And so maybe age came into play there, but I don't think you can build your team around what if we play 18 innings in the Super Bowl. What's the sport we play in the World Series again?
You've been hanging out with me too much.
Go football.
I think too,
Sports.
it depends on like where they're aging. You know, you've got guys at the corners that are a little bit older. Like, nobody cares if your first baseman's 38 years old. Like, that's fine, especially when it's, Freddie Freeman, who, still plays a good first base. He doesn't need to be overly athletic, good at the plate. Max Muncy, he's at the corner. He's fine. Will Smith is young enough for a catcher. He'll eventually move off being a catcher, but he's still young, and Dalton Rushing is kind of waiting there. And like, Jeff said, they're fairly young in the outfield is, for all things considered. Like, yes, it's Teoscar, but Andy Paz isn't old. And then they can find somebody else, and they'll be.
And Andy Paz is also part of my argument that age wasn't the issue, because Andy Paz was the worst player on the team this October, and that wasn't because he was old.
MLB history in October, so
congrats to him.
Yeah, Dalton Rushing. I saw a chat somewhere tonight. Like, they need to figure out what they're going to do with him, because if he is going to be the backup, it feels like a waste. Figure out to find some versatility with him, and
bring
I think
back Ron Rovotel.
All right, guys.
Man.
Well, here we are at hour and 7 minutes. So we're going to wrap this up. Thank you for the chat. Thank you for the moderators. Thanks for all the super chats. Thanks to the Bleav Network and our sponsor, FanDuel. All of that. Thank you all for being here. We will be back later this week, maybe tomorrow, maybe Thursday, sometime, or Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. Sometime this week, sometime soon. Thanks for being here, and bye.
Bye.